Okay, so don't mind the glistening. I just came from a 4 mile run and I wanted to touch bases on how to keep yourself busy when you're not getting that attention from someone, you know? And honestly, sorry, I need water. um, honestly, you want to stay creative with yourself, like finding a niche for yourself, instead of like saying, "Oh, I was busy," and just waiting around, pocket watching your phone and seeing if they respond back, and then, having that kind of delay in a response. So what I used to do, honestly, and it never really did work, I would look at my phone and I would just be like, you know what? I have the power. I'm going to not answer. I'm going to just reply in a few hours. And I end up replying and then they don't reply at all, and so it was just like a cycle of whatever. So adapting to yourself for hobbies that you might like, it's kind of like, because if you stay open to being available, then you're not going to have that mystery. You're not going to be that type of girl that they're going to want, or they're going to want to be with. So with that being said, it's, finding a hobby like what you like to do. I don't know what you like to do, okay? I'm just telling you something that you want to, be informative about, find it to the point where you can have it in the long term, where you can see yourself going towards a goal that you want, or mastering whatever you're getting. What I'm saying is, like, let's say you want to take up like going to the gym, right? You want to be like live a healthy, active lifestyle, like, and if you want to do that, then why don't you go ahead and just do it? Like, just freaking do it, and if you want to go crochet, knitting, whatever investment that you have, others will see that and they will want to be invested in you, because your consumption of time into something of dedication into yourself, that makes it more alluring, more attractive. And it's like, oh, and it's not the opposite. Trust me on this. I used to think is the opposite. Like, what if I don't make myself available? Like, they won't like me? Or what if I don't, answer right away? It doesn't matter. Then they're just not meant to be in your life. Like, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Trust me. Billions of fishes for you. Come to think about it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, man, woman, dinosaur. I don't know these days, honestly, but I'm talking about a male and female dynamic, because that's how I grew up. That's all I know. So this is what I'm telling you, but it adapts to anybody, whether you're in your feminine or masculine. And that's another subject for another time, for another story, between masculine and feminine. But what I'm saying is, the more you adapt to yourself, others will gravitate towards that. So if this person that you have in mind, that you want to have them hooked, have them, being, oh my gosh, you're so mysterious, keep it short. Don't talk all the time. Like, it's better to listen. To be more alluring and be mysterious, you say less. You say what you need to say, and keep it short and sweet, short and simple. It doesn't matter how they come across on taking the response. It's based off of your perception and how you want to give them that encoded message. So that is key. That is the fundamental basis of being mysterious, of being alluring. And you have to 100%. You can't just like fiddle faddle with your own company. You can't be like, well, I don't have anybody to do anything with, like, I want to go do this and that. Dude, I go take myself on movie dates. I go eat anywhere I want to. I shop wherever I want to. If I want to take road trips, I go take them. I dedicate that time for myself. You know, if I want to go somewhere, I just go, because it makes it that much more alluring for yourself. Like, you're giving yourself that like aspect, you're giving yourself that chance of being more captivating, and you have these stories to tell people once you actually do get into kind of like the motion of opening up to somebody. You actually do start talking to them, you do start telling them, oh, I've been here, I have been on this, I would recommend this, you would love it, it would be so great if you could visit this place sometime. And so by doing that and having that type of aspect for yourself, that makes it more prominent. It makes you more like standing out from the situation that you may have. Like, let's say you're talking to somebody and then they're just like, well, I just go to work, like I really don't do anything, you know. So what you want to do is find something to do. You don't have to always find something to do with that somebody. Sorry, these people are just looking at me and I'm just looking at them. So it's when you're in your own space bubble, not to the point where you're like, sorry, I cannot talk to you, I am in my own space bubble because, you know, so and so told me not to talk to anybody. No, it's not like that. It's actually being invested in yourself, because what does that attract? That attracts people who want to invest in you as well. Haven't you seen somebody who's like in their own little space bubble and you're like, oh wow, I wonder what they're doing, I wonder why they're on their phone, I wonder what they were talking about, I wonder what goes on in their head, or oh, I like how she looks, or I like how he looks, what are they doing, you know? And they seem so vibrant and bubbly. It's just because, honestly, you don't, the social norms, it's kind of like, you know, people letting one another judge each other when the only person who's here to judge you is not the people around you. It's not the people around you, okay? And it's basically kind of putting yourself in that type of judgment, you know, looking to be a people pleaser, and that's not what we want. Darling, that's not what we want. We're not people pleasing anymore. We're not being on anybody's schedule. People are being on our schedule now, okay? We got to stop that. I don't have the time. I'll have to check my schedule. I am available this day, I am available that day, I'm available around this time. You know, you don't have to be like, when are you free? You know, people are going to be asking you that question. When are you free, darling? When can I be on your schedule? It's stuff like that, because you have to stand on business and put your foot down, and you have to be like, I'm not available that day. And you just so happened to text me 2 hours before you wanted to meet up, we're not doing that. No, I'm not available. I wish I could, but I'm not going to do that. You know, I wish I could, but I have to go feed the birds. So make it to the point where it's kind of like, I'd rather do something else with someone that's very mundane rather than you giving me a short notice to hang out. They're going to cut that real quick. Like, it's going to be such a pivotal moment, okay? So if you're doing that, then you're on the right track. Also, like, if they ask you, how's your day, or how are you doing, you know, don't write out a big paragraph. Like, you don't want to write back, or if they're asking you anything, you know, and it's just keep it short. Just, you know, it's work is just the usual. It would be much better and more tantalizing if I could be in better company now that you ask. You know, it's stuff like that. You know, keep them more kind of like reel them in, but you do it with such a pizzazz and you do it so naturally that it's just, remember that word, the word that we had like last year, which was the charisma. Okay, so you have to put this in the aspect of yourself when you have to put your perception in, and it's like, how would I like to be rizzed? How would you like to be rizzed? How would you like to be, you know, like spoken to, and somebody like comes up to you and they're like, oh, I like this person, very alluring, very mysterious. I've been told I'm mysterious, I'm attractive, you know, and it's that point. It doesn't have to be a certain way or a certain look. It's all about energy, honey. It's all about energy. I 100% guarantee you it's all about energy, because no matter what, you can be in drags to riches or riches to drags, and you will still have that same energy. Trust me, you will still bring the same people, because it's all about how you hold yourself. It's all about how you put yourself on that pedestal, and it's all about how you put yourself first. Because what's going to happen, you're going to draw that type of attraction that somebody wants to give to somebody else like you, where you're putting that type of attention on yourself. Guess what? You're going to get that type of attention too. There's a bunch of people out here, I'm the only one that's not at a family picnic, I guess. Anyway, so with that being said, pause. Like, I'm telling you, like, you gotta find your niche and then incorporate that type of lifestyle, maybe with the person that you're talking to. They might want to do that, and they might want to share some aspects of their life with you if you let them go that far. If not, then whatever. Like I said, billions. There's billions of people out there for you, honey. Billions. I guarantee you will have a lot of options. You will have a lot of choices. And don't just put all your eggs in one basket where you're like, oh, I'm only going to do this. I'm not going to do anything else. And that's it. No, what you want to do is you want to, dibble dabble. I don't even know if that's a word, but I guess I just made a word. You want to dibble dabble into other situations to put yourself in kind of like being a master at it. Okay, so we got what? We got fitness, your healthy journey, okay, your healthy girl era down. Okay, now you want to go into more like a fashion, or you want to be more into, I don't know, honestly. I don't know you, honey. Like, I really don't know you. I can just tell you what you can be started on. Look at this guy. He's zipping through on the speed bump. Look at him. So the thing is, like, that's another way you can be mysterious, is like you're always like, oh, I'm in the middle of doing this, or I'm going somewhere. And especially like on social media, if you have them on social media, like what I've learned also, I used to post all day, every day, and people would ask me, like, you have a job, you go to school full time, like, how do you do it? Like, I see you nothing but like posting. Are you sure you're not being a content creator? And I'm like, yes, actually I am. But now what I used to do is just like try to do that clickbait, try to do the thirst trap, and it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, honestly. So it's kind of like whatever that energy is. Oh, what is that called? Whatever that energy is put into perspective. Whatever that energy is encompassed into that, that's how it's going to be portrayed. Some call it, desperate or whatever. Some people call it, feeling yourself, which is fine. But the thing is, right now, honey, we're talking about being mysterious. You don't have to post everything in your life on social media. Keep it as private as you can. That's another way of being private. Don't post all of these quotes. If somebody gets you triggered, don't be posting, karma goes around, what goes around comes around. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. Like, you don't do that. And also being in other people's business. Like, your opinion, your perception is none of my business. That's how you keep it. You keep it like that. And if you are, in that type of like gossip or whatever, it's like the conversations that I like to have are successful conversations, how I can be successful, or the success that I have had up and coming, or that what brought me to here. That's basically what the conversations I'm talking about. Like this conversation that I'm talking to you about, that's success. Like, it's how can you be more successful? How can you level up yourself? You know what? Speaking of level up, you can also put yourself into that type of glow up see what kind of glow up you want. You can do it mentally, emotionally, physically, all three at once. You can, go to school. You can find another, like a job or a career that you like. There's so many options that you can, invest into yourself and become that alluring, mysterious woman that you want to be, to attract that person. Anybody. You can attract anybody. I 100% guarantee it doesn't matter what you look like. It's all based off of energy.